roots.
Well, welcome to Meadow Lake, Saskatchewan.
Sometimes you gotta put in a work, tip it on back and get right back down to earth. Soak up that full moon high, find yourself lost in a never-ending sky, full of stars and feet in the dirt. It's giddy on up and get right back down to earth. Whoa.
Coeur d'Alene Sporting Goods and Rocky Mountain Rifles proudly presents Backwoods Backstage with Brett Kissel, brought to you by Deuce Vodka, Bushnell Optics, built for the pursuit, Federal Premium Ammunition, Alberta Hunter Education Instructors Association, Ultimate Wildlife Taxidermy, Hero Shot, Save the Next Day, and MCS Net. On today's episode of Backwoods Backstage, DG and I are recounting our trips to New Zealand with Jim Gibson and New Zealand Safaris. We got red stag, we got fallow deer, and we got the tar. DG?
Amazing trip. Never been there. I had no idea what we were getting into.
Yeah.
And as soon as the plane touched down, I'm just like, awesome. I was blown away by the scenery, and the host is about a 2-hour drive from the airport to Jim's place. And as we're driving in, there's animals all over. There's tar in the mountains. There's stag.
It's like a zoo over there.
It is.
In a
It's
good way.
100% a zoo.
Yeah.
And yeah, the closer we got, the more I got pumped. So
I know for me, you know, growing up as a kid, since I was 6, 7, 8 years old, all I wanted to shoot was a red stag, much like this one that you guys went over and got. And 2017 or 2016 for me was the year I got to realize that dream. It was the first abroad hunt that I ever did. And Jeff Coyle, a good buddy of mine, was kind enough last minute to invite me with Jim Gibson and New Zealand Safaris. And you know, you grow up as a kid, you think you this is what I want to do one day, but you never actually think in a million years you'll get the chance to do it. The travel's not too bad, and I mean, I don't know what you guys thought of it, but it's more than doable.
Oh, for sure. But my problem is I had a broken leg when I went there, or just recovered.
Yeah, you did.
Broken leg.
Yeah, you did.
My buddy Mark, who I went with, has bad knees and hips, so I got a funny story about the flight.
Yeah?
So
let's hear it.
We're the old men. We decided to upgrade, so we upgrade to these Sky Lounge seats. And I thought, in my head, I thought like big recliners and big beds.
Like the pod.
Like the, oh yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, all it is just the bottom flips up and you have a single bed. So him and I are sitting in these chairs thinking we got this massive upgrade. So we called the stewardess over and like, there's no way us two are going to be able to snuggle in this tight to make the trip. So they ended up giving us another one for free. So I literally slept the whole way. So it was, travel wasn't bad at all for me.
12 and a half hours, no cigarettes. How was that?
Fine. Throw a dip in.
Throw a dip in. There you go.
Throw a zing in and
I love it.
Good to go.
So, I mean, for us, like we landed there, we did an overnight, and then we went to Jim's place. You guys landed and went straight there?
Yep.
I always feel guilty because I give our cameraman shit a lot over there. I'm like, why aren't you filming that? Why aren't you filming that?
Yeah.
But you can literally film any second of any view over there, and it's always a good shot.
Yeah.
You cannot take a bad shot. So, your stag, like that was your first animal you guys shot there, and you got it on like day one.
Well, yeah. Again, broken leg, so I had a brace on and boots cinched up tight, and it climbed up this. I don't think it was a mountain, but it felt like I was climbing a mountain.
Yeah.
And there was stag everywhere. Saw two like giants running about 1,000 meters away, and we were kind of on this big ravine, and we spotted one bedded down. It was heavy and non-typical, and I just didn't know what to expect. Like in my mind, that's a shooter. That's the first one I saw. I was actually debating on that one, and we were humming and hawing. We watched it, waiting for it to get up, and then up in the forestry, just heard crash, boom, bang, and this stag, the one that I shot, comes walking down, and Gareth, our guide, is like, "That's your one, mate. That's the one you're looking for, mate." And so literally, I just swung the gun over to the forestry, and I made a great shot. And
you fooled him right there, didn't you?
Yeah.
You know, there's no one red stag sign.
I gotta get my hands on him.
Yeah, we'll drag him. For pictures, we'll drag him up top the hill there.
Unreal.
God. Look at me, Jermaine. Look at the size of this thing.
That's a very unique animal, man.
Yeah, so the closer we got, the bigger it looked, and I was pretty pumped to get my hands on it for sure.
It's a great stag, and I mean, sure, you got him on day one, but It's hunter's choice. I mean, there's some guys that go over there and they want to do the pure free range, and it's a little bit more difficult, but you're not going to get anywhere near the size of the animal. Most guys go over there, they want to do a little bit of the estate free range mix, which is kind of what yours was. It doesn't look prehistoric. It's still within the means of what could be out there, but you do the estate hunting. That's what I did too. And it is hunter's choice. All the options are available, but I'm a firm believer. I don't care what it is. If you see an animal on day one that you'd kill on the last day of your hunt, and your guy tells you to shoot it, you shoot that damn animal. You shoot it right now.
Oh, we knew.
Jim and his crew at New Zealand Safaris, they do a bang-up job of giving every hunter the whole experience.
Totally.
I mean, you're talking about from the roar to, the start to the finish, the whole New Zealand, I call it, experience. And his guys are just so dialed into making sure that everybody goes home feeling exactly the way you're describing.
And our guide was awesome. Gareth was just a absolute awesome dude.
Discussing the size of the animal. If the guys are happy with it, because it's quite a unique, it's quite a character sort of head. It's got a real good mass to it, but it's sort of where it lacks in some areas, it makes up in other areas.
That is unique, though.
Yeah, no, that's quite unique. It's a non-typical, complete non-typical thing.
And then up in the forestry, you just heard crash, boom, bang, and this stag, the one that I shot, comes walking down, and Gareth, our guide, is like, "That's your one, mate. That's the one you're looking for, mate." And
He's in the bowl for himself.
What are the chances of us seeing a bigger stag with more character? It's pretty unique, right?
Yeah, there are ones a character. The stag's lower, but it's totally up to you. Do you want to go for a walk when we come back?
I don't think so.
You already said your mind, I think.
The thing is, too, is
Get a look at him.
oh wow. He's nice. I like the horns.
I think I'd be okay with that.
I think that's what we're shooting.
Done deal, boys.
Well done, mate.
He shoots, he scores. This man shoots. We were watching one, a really gnarly one. We heard some crashing in the woods. Come walking out of the forest, and the guide's like, "You're shooting that one. You're shooting that one." So got a really good look at him. He's a big stag, more typical than the one I was thinking about shooting. But wow, super anxious to get my hands on. It's gonna be awesome.
They're coming a little slowly.
But they're so different.
Oh, 100%. So like his ones down there were about that long,
Yeah.
but his mass was like that.
Yeah.
So different, both cool.
They are. Yeah. Just
Oh, every
different animals.
there's no stag. Not like elk. You get quite typical.
Yeah.
There's no one red stag the same.
I gotta get my hands on.
Yeah, we'll drag him for pictures. We'll drag him up the top of the hill there.
Unreal.
God. Look at me, Jermaine. Look at the size of this thing.
That's a very unique animal, man.
Oh, it's so deadly. So deadly. So fast. I mean, we were here for half an hour and we've seen six different stags already, and we were watching on the bottom of the ravine, and this one kind of came in from the forest, and our trusty guide's like, "That's the one you're shooting."
He's over 400, I'd say. 390 to 400 easy.
It's a great stag, and I mean, sure, you got him on day one, but it's hunter's choice. I mean, there's some guys that go over there and they want to do the pure free range, and it's a little bit more difficult, but you're not going to get anywhere near the size of the animal. most guys go over there, they want to do a little bit of the estate free range mix, which is kind of what yours was. It's not, doesn't look prehistoric. It's still within the means of what could be out there. So how this relationship with Jim Gibson and New Zealand Safaris came to be was, and I feel like I'm getting old now, and I am 30, but 8 years ago, many moons, my good buddy Jeff Coyle had lined up a trip to go over and do some filming. And Jim wanted a couple episodes to use on TV for some promotion, but largely for trade shows that he could run on a loop. And him and Jeff had worked a deal where Jeff and Helgi Amundsen were supposed to go over. Well, last minute, I think Helgi's son Dirk was in nationals or something for baseball, so he had to bail. So I got to fill in back in my wild TV days. So here I am, I'm 21, and my lifelong dream of shooting a red stag is going to come true. So we head over there, and Coyle did the full-on, call it a wildie, like a wild stag, and he got a beautiful, 6x6 royal stag. Not a super giant, but for a wild stag, a great stag.
Yeah.
Precisely what he wanted. And I'm going to rib him a bit here because I know Jim did the whole time too. He was out of shape, and I'll just say that it is. And that guy, Jim pretty much had to carry him up the mountains. And he wasted the whole week chasing his stag, okay? So he left me with 1 day. And I'm saying this because I'd say it to his face. He got his stag, God love him. I had 1 day to shoot my stag.
Really?
And I wanted the biggest, baddest stag I could get.
Yep.
So I went on the estate, and that's what I wanted to do in the beginning anyway. Still a very challenging hunt. And again, the nice part about Jim and New Zealand Safaris is it is hunter's choice. They've got all the options, as you know.
Yep.
So we go on this estate, and it's still like 8,000 acres, and it's all hill, not mountain, but like big hill terrain type stuff. And I got 1 day, and there's 2 particular stags in there that we're targeting. We can't find the one to save our life. And suddenly this big wide one comes running out, and I'm like, look at that thing, and it's just wide, like it scored like 390. Similar probably to yours, score wise, but just wide and long points. Doesn't have the girth yours has or the dark horns, but it's just a gorgeous typical stag. Jim's like, that's the one, mate, that's the one. I'm like, no way, like I love shooting wide stuff, eh? So we make a game plan, and we got to pop over this hill to perfect spot, or it'll dip down into a great big ravine.
Oh, on that,
and it's gone. Like we'll be chasing it for 2-3 days, and we don't have the runway for that. So I remember I'm walking up to this hill, and I'm just a young guy, and my knees are just shaking. And I'm like, dude, you gotta relax. You have to relax. You're gonna mess this up. Like you're nervous to mess up, but you're gonna mess up because you're nervous. And I immediately just had this like calming presence come over me, and we tipped up over the top, and stag read the script. It was actually bedded, I don't know, 300 yards just in front of us, and kind of similar to Mark's, like you were describing. We laid down and we're waiting, and it's not getting up, and Jim's like, do you think you could stick it right in that neck shoulder area? I'm like, yeah, I can punch it. And I made a good shot. The stag actually stood up. I was trying to figure out what was going on, and I hit it again, and it folded. And the reason we sent that second shot was because literally right over the edge was a cliff. And as much as it would have been dead,
3 days of work,
we would have been another day to get that thing out of there. But you see in the video how excited I am. I don't think in my hunting career I've ever been that excited. It was just that bucket list item checked off. For this guy, and the whole experience, it's just amazing. It's been ever since I was a little kid. I wanted to come to New Zealand and shoot a big trophy red stag. Jim and Jeff made that happen. Jim, thank you so much for having both Jeff and I. And Jeff, thanks for putting up with my dumb ass for the meantime.
Oh, buddy, it's all good.
It's been a blast, boys. It's been a blast.
Been very good.
Well, you've got to see what it's all about. You've got the real deal on everything. It's just, we're out there. We did it.
You still got to hike. No matter which way you do it, free range or trophy, you still got to
hike.
And it's not easy.
No, absolutely not.
The wait had paid off, and on the last day of the hunt, I was fortunate enough to harvest my red stag.
And then Jordan, like a different personality, just a fun sort of guy, and just keen to tear into it, And that sort of gets me pumped, like this morning I had the radio going, we had country music blaring, you know, and we were ready to go, and I feed off that, you know, I feed off different clients. So, you know, Jordan was pumped, I was pumped, man, let's do it, you know, and who knows, I didn't have a clue what was going to happen. You know, it was like last day, and to be honest, I'd just about damn near given up myself, you know. It was like, I just can't pull a rabbit out of my thingy, you know. So, but it worked out great, and that's the thing again, you know, I've got to keep reminding myself, I mean, I can only do what I can do, you know, the animals are going to do what the animals are going to do, and it just worked out great. Look, I couldn't be happier, to be honest.
Well, and two of you guys too, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's you, Mark, and the boys.
Yeah.
So
Blake
his
and
son,
Matthew.
Blake and Matthew, Mark's son Blake, your son Matt, obviously from the show. Talk a little bit about that, like a whole father-son trip. Like, you guys might never get to do that again.
Thank God for our boys, because I couldn't imagine, well, the amount of work it takes to like cape these out,
Yeah.
haul them up and down mountains.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we went for the Fall of Does for the rug, and those boys crawled down massive mountain to pack this stuff up. So, no, it was great. I mean, it's great to have these experiences, but it's even better to have them with your kids. So.
100%. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a kid that age, just a 5-year-old right now, but I'm starting to understand what you've been putting down for
they
the
grow
last
up
few
quick.
years. Yeah, next thing you know, they're 26 and an absolute pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe I could throw a backpack on Ellie and she can haul some animals up and for me. It's funny for me, New Zealand was never on my bucket list. It was
Right.
never on my radar. It was just opportunity through the show and timing, and I mean, super pumped that I went. But
Yeah.
Mark, with his stag,
Yeah,
that was his bucket
that was the
list.
same way, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean,
That was an emotional moment for him. He was crying like a baby.
I love it. That's what it's all about.
Oh. Wow. Holy. Oh. Wow. Thank you so much. It was worth the 45-minute wait. Wow, wow, wow.
How do you feel? What are your thoughts?
Well, I can't thank Garrett from New Zealand Safaris enough for spotting this beautiful creature, and friends Derek and Matthew Germain for the special invite, and hunting with my favorite partner Blake. It's a dream come true.
Wow, boys.
So the hunting experience here has been incredible. It's not even close to what we experience at home with the snow and the cold, and you know, a lot of flatland hunting that we do at our home country in Canada. It's a lot of hills, and it's huge country here. We've done a lot of hiking, seen tons and tons of animals each and every day. There was certainly no shortage. You could pretty much pick what you wanted to shoot. It was absolutely amazing.
Honestly, overall, New Zealand Safaris is, from my experience, the premier place for guided hunts. When it comes to accommodations, when it comes to the food, when it comes to the people, when it comes to the staff, the guides, and this overall experience that we've had. We're very fortunate to hunt all around the world and get paid to do so. Never forget that. But over all the places that I've been to, New Zealand Safaris, top notch. And anybody who's looking to, if red stag's high on that bucket list or fallow deer, there's no better place to go. So if you guys are coming to New Zealand, make sure you check them out.
Opportunities like this sometimes are on thin threads and quick timing. And we were sitting in my shop having a beverage, and Mark was there, and we were talking about the stag hunt. And Mark's like, you know, that's something that I've always kind of wanted to do. So him and I made a decision that we're going to figure out the trip, and a couple guys canceled on the planner side. So we need a cameraman, which is my son Matt, did an amazing job, and Mark's like bringing my son Blake. So I went from more of a Backwoods Backstage, our group, to a father-son trip, which to me, as much as I love the Backwoods crew, this experience to do it with your kids has been fantastic, and I think everything works out for a reason. This one worked out really well for us.
I mean, people ask, and, you know, you're getting quite a world resume on you now too, but people ask me, like, where's the best place in the world you've gone on? Like, that's such a loaded question, you know. Like, what do you want? You want this? Do you want this?
Yeah.
You know, if you want to go on the ultimate boys trip, go to Africa.
Yeah.
If you want to go on what I call a holiday, but also a very challenging hunt, go to New Zealand.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to kill a great big elk, go to New Mexico. Like, there's no perfect answer for that. But for me personally, New Zealand's my number one.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't go with anybody but Jim. Just a great operation. And as you guys can see, great success. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Backwoods Backstage. We'll see you next time.